Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello, you gorgeous beauty pro, and welcome back to another episode. Today actually marks the end of part 1 of the Beauty Build podcast. So I'm really excited to get into the topic today, which is all about purpose and what your purpose is, because I've been asked so many times along the way, who I am, what I do, and I have to tell people all the time because I'm introduced to somebody or whatever, and it always gets me thinking about why I do what I do. Every time I answer the question, whether it be for something that goes into print or somebody that I meet online or in person, and it just always makes me think, like, what is my purpose? And I always go back to the reasons I do what I do. And because what I do actually changes quite often with me, because I am very much like, I'm doing this and then I want to change it up and do something a little bit different. At the core, the things that I want to do are the same. I want to uplift the beauty industry. I want to be a present stay-at-home mother. I want to work alongside that. Those type of things are the things that ground me and keep me rooted in everything that I actually want to do. But it gets me thinking, because I do chop and change the things that I do quite a lot, right? And some people do. It's not just me, obviously. So many people are the same as me. So, and when I get people that ask me, I always say to them, and what do you do? And things like that. So I'm sure that plenty of you are sometimes thinking about these type of things yourselves in your beauty businesses. Where do you want it to go? What do you want to get from it? And I know that when I speak to clients or people in group coaching sessions with me and things, when I ask them what they want, they often don't know, or they think that they've learnt the treatments, they do it now, and they don't know where this industry can take them. Or they say to me things like, I can't really get past this, I can't dream any bigger, I just don't know. And I just think, I always say to have a really strong why connected to what you do, because, in a nutshell, that is what is going to help you when things get hard. When the day comes where things don't go your way and you want to quit, having a reason to be doing what you're doing, having a why connected to what you do, that's why you're going to get up and get out of bed and do the thing that feels hard, that feels like you're not getting any of the results. Whether it be with clients, whether it be with family, whether it be something else that happens, or life is just lifing, or the business isn't going to plan, or social media is winding you up. When it feels hard, any element of that, when anything feels hard, you have to be sort of disciplined enough. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. It's about being connected to the reason why you're doing it and having that strong sense of dedication to the cause. And that is what I have deep down, to the cause, to the fact that I want time freedom moving forward. And I want it now, to be honest with you, because so many people say, like, I'll be happy when I get time freedom, I'll be better when, this will be better when. No, what we want to do is want to live in the moment. So connecting things to the reason why also helps you do that as well. It helps me think about the fact that, well, I wanted this business to give me time freedom. So if it's not doing that in the now either, there are certain sacrifices that you will make, but if it's not doing those things for you now, then what really is the point? How long is it going to take? Let's map this out. We have to be connected. Do you know what I mean? Because you want to be able to choose good energy every single day. You don't just want to be working your butt off and, trying to do these things unhappy, doing them unhappy. If you can do them while you're happy because you're getting what you need from it for this present day, then that's the main thing, and keeping that future vision kind of in focus. And I am obviously also aware that when you're faced with like not knowing what that purpose actually is, right, or what is kind of my dream, what is the right thing, what's next, what's the next step, obviously my one-to-one clients give me this all the time because they say things like that, and I don't have those answers for them. I can facilitate some questions, I can facilitate like the kind of container for them and get them to explore, but I can't actually answer that for them because it's super, super personal. So that's why this topic is something I really want to wrap up part 1 of the Beauty Build podcast on, because it just feels super, it just feels so relevant right now to me as well as some of my clients, because relevance for me right now with this podcast is coming to its end of part 1, and that means that there are going to be other things happening in my world. And that is why, I mean, the reason that this is happening this way is because I have things that I am connected to. My why is connected to something else at the minute, so that's the type of thing I mean. And it helps you to pivot and do things like that, for example, maybe pause one thing and do another thing, because you know what's going on in your world. So that's what I really want to get into today, even though I feel like I've just rambled on and gotten into it in the first 5 minutes of the episode. But yeah, let's have a little breather with I think what I do know is that when you get crystal clear on this, right, when you get crystal clear on the why or the purpose, whether you look at that in your life or your business or, all together, if it's kind of combined, whether it's big or whether it's small, whatever you do know, it is going to help you to get to the level of success of your version of success in this industry, right? It helps you to feel the happiness in what you're doing. It helps you to feel good about what you're doing. So just to wrap all of that up, that I've just kind of reeled off to you in the beginning of this episode. What I also know is that you need to get comfortable with it being okay to not actually be 100% clear on the long term, and to be open to change. That's when you're able to make the best decisions for each singular period of this thing that we call life and business. And that is what I would say I've learned over the years of doing a lot of internal work and a lot of mindset work and everything, is that we want this purpose. It's a kind of human need, right? To feel self-sufficient, to feel like we're connected to something, to feel like we're part of a community and things like that. And it helps us to set goals. And what I love is that, knowing your purpose is going to attract the right people and the right opportunities to you, including, funnily enough, the right clients in the beauty industry. So in my opinion, it's all about knowing your purpose of now. So know the purpose of now, have an idea of kind of like long term, but knowing what's really connected to you now, what's keeping you going right now, what will be your why, these things, whatever you want to call it, purpose or why, because your circumstances are always going to change. There are external circumstances that change all the time that we cannot control. And then obviously there are also internal circumstances that go on within us and what we want and how we feel about what's happening in our lives. So things change all the time and you need to be able to pivot. So if you're one of those people that doesn't know the purpose, know the why, and you get a bit like overwhelmed with it, think about breaking it down. What is it for now? And that is the thing. I just think it's so important to do that, because things will change. And look at it now, for example, if you are going through a change in your life where you need to pause something and move on to doing something else to give it your all, right? You normally notice these things when you're stressed and overwhelmed. So just have a look at that. And that's okay. If you need to stop doing something to move on to something else, that's absolutely fine. Try to connect good reasons, positive reasons why. If anything feels a bit negative, try to recharge that thought with positive. Think about the positive outcomes of it. What you might have not learned had you not gone through this experience, for example, they can all be positives. But in the beauty industry, because that's what we're here for, right? We love the beauty industry. And with social media these days as well, because I think it's difficult to have any episodes on this podcast or any conversations with any beauty pros about business without talking about social media. It can be difficult, right? Because why is it difficult? Because we are looking at people all the time. So we can't find or, we can't see what the purpose is sometimes in our own business because we are too bloody consumed with everything else going on around us. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but we really are. We're so consumed with what is going on in the scroll. We actually are. And what that does is it triggers self-doubt, which is horrible. We don't want to be doubting ourselves. And secondly, fear of failure. Okay, so you start thinking, what happens if I don't do what I think I should be doing? You start getting a bit scared of putting yourself out there and failing. And number 3, then it also triggers this external pressure as well, right? Is this even where I should be? Should I be there? Should I be doing what he's doing? Should I be doing what she's doing? Is it, all of these things. That is not good. And I understand. I'm here to tell you I understand, because it happens to me. No matter who you are looking up to right now, right? 'Cause I get so many DMs about this podcast and about coaching programs I do, and they're like, you have got it down to a T, your mindset work. Thank you so much. It's helped me move my business, blah, blah, blah. It's helped me so much. It happens to me. Okay, so it doesn't matter who you're looking up to right now. It is happening to everybody because of the day and age that we live in with social media. Some people are going to get taken off track when it comes to their purpose, even the people you look up to. So don't think this doesn't happen to everybody. But we kind of want to like get over that. We kind of want to move forward with being able to still look at social media without 1, 2, and 3 happening. Right, without the self-doubt, without the fear of failure, without, thinking about all of this pressure that it is external pressure, but we pile it upon ourselves, and we call it external pressures because that's what we're seeing it externally, but actually we put these things on ourselves because we're comparing ourselves, and we're comparing the success basically based on vanity metrics on social media, the likes, the follows, the comments, the engagement, the things that we can see. We don't really know what's going on inside a person. And we don't really know what's going on inside their life or their business, but we assume we do. And we think to ourselves, now there's pressure. Well, there's not really. So I want you to kind of remove that. But you'll also find on social media that people tell you to find your purpose, a bit like me, a bit like the people that post motivational things or, teaching. People that teach people to do something, like a bit like I teach you how to grow your beauty businesses, right? So we're telling you all the time, like, find this purpose, find your why, connect to your why. So I kind of like realize that when you're looking through things online, there are very few strategies that are actually that helpful. And people do sometimes need the help of somebody like a mentor or a coach to actually hold their hand and give them things that they can actually do, like actual steps, so that you can, get there, so that you can work on it and know how. Because I must admit, sometimes I think to myself, well, everybody knows this. Because I know it, so I think, well, everybody must know it, but they don't. And I do understand that you may not, if you're listening to this, and you may not know what the strategies are. Because I remember when I first came across things like journaling, some people find their purpose and their why, and I think I did a little bit as well through journaling, which is where you ask yourself questions like, how am I feeling? How do I want to feel? You get really open with yourself, you get quite deep with yourself, and you put it on paper, or you do it in video form, or whichever way you want to go about it. But it's about deeper internal exploration of how you are and how you're feeling and what you want. So you can do it by transitioning through a journaling practice. You can do it through visualization. You can do it through reflecting on everything as well. But I remember when I started journaling and I started coming across these practices, and I did get stuck. So I know that there are people out there like you that might think, well, it's all good and well, like putting up a post on social media telling me find my purpose, connect it to everything so that it helps me when it feels hard, journal and all the rest of it, but you might get stuck. So what I want to do in this episode is give you a few things. I've got about 5 things for you to do that you can just use as an exercise to help you get a bit more crystal clear on how your purpose feels to you, or what your why feels like to you. And then hopefully you can hold on to that, and you can use it to keep you going. And you can use it to either pivot if you need to, or, keep going and sacrifice to get there or not. You know what I mean? So number 1, the first thing that I think you can do is to clarify what your core values are, because these things, generally speaking, will stay the same for quite some time, and you'll only make really sort of fine adjustments when you have big changes and milestones in your life, and then they may change. So think about your core values. What are they? And if you need help, literally just Google what core values could be. You'll find like lists of words like, freedom and growth and creativity, and there's all sorts of other ones that might be valued to you. Think about why they're important to you though as well. So think about what they are. Eliminate. So I would start with a massive list, and I'd be looking at the words and think, well, what really means something to me, and I'd circle, and I'd get down to my like top 3 to 5 core values so that I really know what I feel in life right now. And then I think why they're important to me, and then I would do a little exercise, and this is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to write down under each one. So say you've got 3 to 5 of these, I want you to write down how by living by each one of these helps me grow my business. Right? So that's how you connect it. I want you to do that exercise first. So for each value, I want you to ask yourself, how is it that by living by each one of these helps me grow my business? Do it for each, right? But on the flip side of it as well, I want you to do it again, but I want you to ask yourself, how is it that by having my business, does it help me to uphold and live by this value? Because the answer will be different, okay? So I want you to really dig deep into your core values. That's the first thing that I think you can do, and it will really help you like get a hold on what you value and get a hold on your why. Secondly, clarify your here and now. So what is it right now that, you know, your goals look like? What does the purpose kind of feel like right now in the short term? Why is it looking that way? And think about your short-term goals and how do they contribute to your life and how do they contribute to the industry? Because that's another human need, right? We need to feel like we are part of something. That's an actual human need. So think about that. How does that goal, that purpose for right now, that short-term goal, how does that contribute towards the industry? And do it for each of the things that you come up with, right? And also, how do they align to the values that you've just uncovered for yourself in number one? Okay. And then maybe what steps do you need to do to actually, you know, start doing more? Maybe there's something you need to take on that needs to happen to start getting you there. Maybe there are things that you can identify now that you think, well, if I can continue doing this, then I'm definitely going to feel better about it. I'm definitely going to keep going with that and get it stronger. And then what do you need to stop? Okay, because we know what the values are, we know what the goals are now, we know how they align. What do we need to stop? There's probably something in our lives, there's always something that we could stop that would probably help us either get forward with our goals or save us time, those type of things. So that's number two. Number three is, what do you love doing in your business and your life? What do you think you are very good at and what do you think you're not so good at? Okay, because what this will do is it will help you think about the qualities that come naturally to you and where you want to improve and how you can use these sort of strengths and weaknesses to work on the whole purpose and the whole goal, right? So what is it you love doing and what do you think you're great at and not so great at? I just want you to uncover here in number three, what is it that you feel most like good at and what can you really thrive in doing? So whichever of those kind of ways that I put that resonates with you the most, go with that and just work on, you know, how can you use your strengths and weaknesses to your advantage. Number four is just to imagine your future. I really want you to close your eyes and actually visualize what does your life look like in, say, 3 years, or if you can do further, what does it look like in 5 years, even 10 years? I mean, I don't think I can really do 10 years. I struggle with that, but some people can do it. So where do you want to be in the business, right, and in the life? And what I would do with this is I would seriously get into it and close your eyes and spend some time, because it will just benefit you so much to get a very good idea of how it plays out in your mind. I actually do visualizations with my clients and it gets so emotional because they get so into it, and so do I get tingles for them. It's great. But think about it, write down like your perfect ideal day. You know, what has been accomplished in year 3? What's going on? You know, how do you feel? What impact have you had on the people around you? What does your family life now look like? What does your day-to-day life look like? Your routine? What does the industry look like? How have you contributed? You know, how does all of this align with the values that we've identified and your goals that we identified and what you love doing, all those things that we've just identified? How does it all align with that as well, right? Keep working on those things and your purpose is going to become super clear. And then what's going to happen is, because you know all of this, right, you've got these kind of exercises here, I think that was like 4 or 5, you're going to start taking inspired action, right? Because your mind is going to believe this visualization. Your mind is it can't tell what's right or wrong or true or false, right? So your mind is going to believe the visualization. It's going to believe that we've got on there, because you're going to be thinking about it in terms of you've achieved it, okay? You've already achieved what you're visualizing. So the mind is going to work in a mysterious way here. It's a bit woo-woo, guys, but it's going to work in a way that also unlocks doors for you, brings up opportunities for you. But the thing with this is you've got to keep going with it. You have to do it every single day. You can't just do this work once. You have to do it regularly, because you're going to have days where you don't know what you feel about things. Again, it's going to keep cropping up. It never changes. It always comes back up where you think, oh, am I doing the right thing towards my goals, my vision, everything, you know? And that's absolutely fine as long as we redo these exercises and we keep going. And also what doing this work actually does is it helps you in attracting the right clients, and it's going to help you identify the brand message that you want to portray and kind of like your messaging, because your values as a person are going to come through in your brand message. It is inevitable. So what it does is it helps you set your goals and it helps you envision where you want like your business to look in the future, who you want to be working with every day, what services you want to be offering, what the menu looks like, even down to like what the treatment rooms look like and where you go and what you do, and just all sorts of things. So what will happen is you'll probably find yourself coming back to, you know, like I just said, imposter syndrome. You'll find yourself coming back to feeling a little bit of fear. You'll think, how do I feel about what's going on and like my goals and all the rest of it. So do those exercises again, but look at A, how far you've come, right? B, why you're perfectly different and great at what you do, and C, the consequences of you not going for this purpose of yours. Okay, that is what I want you to do, because every single time you do this and you go back over the exercises, you will be looking at it from a different perspective, because you're going to get better at this and better at this and better at this over time, I promise. And things are going to happen quicker. This is what I always say to people. I feel like because I've done years of internal work and years of personal development mindset work, I can kind of switch to and from negative to positive super quick. I can shift goals, shift lanes, change things up, pivot a little bit without feeling as much guilt, because that's a massive one, isn't it? I mean, especially if you live very busy lives. Maybe you're a mum, maybe you care for parents, or maybe you've got other family members that rely on you, or even if you're just like super sociable Sallys. Guilt is a real big thing when you switch things up and when you change things or do something else for yourself, or, you know, a purpose of yours is changing and things change. It all can go on, right? It can all go on. It's such a big topic. And I think guilt is a huge one. But I've learned that obviously because you do this so much, you get over things so much quicker. You can move quicker, and therefore you get to things like success. And I say that like that because I think, well, success is just different for everybody, isn't it? It's going to be completely different to me, what it is to you, and all the rest of it. So very personal here. But you're going to be coming at it from a different perspective, and you're going to be able to do it so much quicker. And I love that for you. I literally love it. So every time you come back to it, think about how far you've come. And just think, you're so good at what you're doing. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for the bigger picture. You're doing it, and you can do it as you please. Okay, make things work for you. You really, seriously, I can't emphasize the importance of making things work for you enough. It's like my whole life's work is to make beauty pros realize that they can actually do the things they want to do, make their business work for them in a way that just doesn't answer to anyone else, right? Because you're doing it for you. Okay, and if you don't live by your purpose, if you don't know your values, go through the exercises. But if you don't, then you're going to kind of feel like there are going to be consequences for not living by your purpose. There are going to be consequences for saying yes to people when you really want to say no, or, you know, not aligning all of this stuff, if that makes sense. So totally encourage you to do this and get to that success that you want, right? No matter how that looks to you. Okay, just take the action, because you're going to be inspired when you do all of this. Take the action, set the goals, and go for it. And if you do need more from me, then you're going to need to get inside my private community on Facebook. The links are all in the description, as always, which, you know, I'll pop in there everything that you can get from me, being as this is the end of part 1 of the Beauty Build podcast. I shall pop some extra links in there with bits that are going on at the moment for ways that you can work with me. But we're going to be taking a break for the summer. We have done 1 whole year of podcasting, and I think that is absolutely incredible. It's probably one of the most consistent things ever that I have ever had to do, and it's been amazing. So for all of you listening, thank you so much for tuning in for the whole year. It's been so good, and we've had so many gorgeous guest experts on this podcast that I've interviewed. It's been incredible. So for any of those listening, thank you so much if you've been on part of the podcast as well. If you do love this episode, please take a screenshot, pop it on your stories and tag me. I will continue to promote all of the past episodes during the break. And then when part 2 comes up, you shall all know about it, because I will be shouting about it from the rooftops. So yeah, for now, have a look at the links in the description as to how you can get in touch with me or work with me, ask me questions and do whatever. And I will speak to you all on the next one for part 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.